Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fox Den. Yes, sorry I'm late. I was writing this what if in particular. Now, I promised two, and I will get two out, just not today. I'll get another one out Saturday, because I have a test tomorrow and Friday. So now you're wondering, I just did a Girls and Panzer one, so why am I doing another one? Well, this one's a little more different. Instead of bringing my hero over to Girls and Panzer, I'm bringing Girls and Panzer over to my hero. So what I mean by that, I'm only going to bring one character over. And this character is technically going to be replacing Deku, since this is a what if Deku. I'm bringing over our good old tea drinking lady of class who pilots the Churchill Mark 7. Darjeeling. Now, you're wondering what her quirk would be. Well, you'll see. When we start the story, but her quirk directly relates to tanks. Anyways, let's get started. Darjeeling, a girl full of grace and elegance, was born in the United Kingdom. Her parents, both pro heroes to be precise, in number 1 and number 2 in the European Hero League. At the age of 4, she got her quirk checked. They found out that her quirk is very unorthodox. They don't even know what it does. All they know is the name, Ghost Division. As one of the doctors would say, this name, it reminds me of Erwin Rommel's Ghost Division. So I think her quirk has something to do with tanks. The other doctor would respond with, it could be, but it can also mean that she can become a ghost at will. And the nurse says to stop fighting and just tell the mother her quirk. Now at the age 16, during her last day at St. Gloriana's Girls' Academy. Yes, I'm bringing that in, but it's not a college. Well, I know, it's still high school. Ah, damn, I lost my place. Where is it? There it is. A speech similar to canon would be done by the teacher. As he would say, it does look like one of our own would be going to a different country. Some of the other students would begin to look around, wondering who it might be, till the teacher would say, but it does make complete sense that our very own student council president will be transferring to UA. The students would have mixed reactions. Some would support her and wish her well, while the others say that she won't make it 1 minute. That she won't be able to make it 1 minute in that place. But this doesn't faze Darjeeling, however, since she had no interest in joining the hero course. She's only joining UA for their academic class, known as General Studies. A few days after the end of her time in school, her parents would go with her to the airport, where they would wish her well. 1 day later, she was at her hotel that her parents have gotten. Her hotel room that her parents have gotten her, so she would have a place to stay. Now, she still has 2 months till she has to take the entrance exam. During this time, she would explore around Masasu till nightfall. She would go back to her hotel and get ready for the next entrance exams. This would be her routine for the 2 months. Her routine: wake up, study, take out the trash, water the Kamina senses or the tea plant, then make some breakfast. This exact routine is what she's been doing the past 2 months. She would then go 2 hours after the last the day of the entrance exam, every morning, she would walk to the entrance of UA, looking at this building, at this building, and wondering how no one, and not knowing how to feel, as suddenly she gets pushed onto the ground by a blonde-haired boy. "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there," the boy says in a manner that indicates that he's apologetic. "Oh, it's quite all right. After all, you did apologize. Now, where are my manners? I'm Darjeeling Gray." The blonde boy would introduce himself. "I am Nito Monoma." Once again, I'm sorry for that. I'm just excited to be here. It's been my dream to go here. Darjeeling would answer, "It's quite all right. After all, it is everyone's dream school, even in other countries." Mona would perk up at that, saying, "Are you from another country?" Darjeeling would slightly chuckle, saying, "Yes, I'm from Britain. I'm from Britain, also known, I'm from, Darjeeling would chuckle, saying that she's from the United Kingdom. This perking up Monoma's eyes began sparkling and began braiding her about questions. About how it is, and then Monoma gets to one single question. "What's your quirk?" Darjeeling would initially look down, but then look up, saying, "Well, that's the thing. While I'm not quirkless, I don't know what my quirk exactly does. I was hoping that someone in UA can help me figure out what it could do. I only know its name, Ghost Vision." Monoma, feeling like he owed the girl, old Darjeeling, will go up to her and ask, "Maybe I can give it a shot. Just trust me on this, okay?" As Monoma would put his hand onto Darjeeling's shoulder, as he would try any way to try to use her quirk. As suddenly, Monoma does a certain action as a tank appears right next to him. This being a Sherman Firefly. Monoma looks at the vehicle next to him, and where he looks, the turret turns. Mona just stands there, shocked, saying, "This quirk is very unique. It seems like, I believe you can summon tanks. I think. But it might just be this Firefly? I'm not too sure. Though I don't know how you can summon them. All I know is that he points to the charge sign that some of the British officers did when they're in the tanks. That's how you summon your Firefly. I don't know how to summon the others, but I can keep trying it out afterwards. After the exam, if you want me to." Darjeeling simply responds with, "That's quite all right. You've helped me enough. I will simply make progress on my own. Once again, I thank you, Monoma. I wish you luck in getting into the hero course." Monoma then asks, "So you're going to the general studies or support course?" "I'm going to general studies. I am more of an academic mind than a heroic person. I prefer to be in the shadows. Not really an underground hero. I don't prefer heroes at all. I just want to be a scientist or historian." "Now, if you excuse me, we might want to get going. We have about 2 minutes till the exam starts." Monoma just perks up, saying, Right. Let's go. As he began rushing off, as the tank would disappear right when he entered the building. Darjeeling stands there for a second, looking down at her hands, saying, "If only I knew how to use this correctly, I would attempt, but I don't. If I give it a chance, maybe I will." She would then go into the exam room, as President Mike would then say, once, as he would say normally in canon, saying, "You only have about, you have 30 minutes to finish the test. And once you're finished, turn it up front. But don't worry, for people who are only coming here for general studies, you guys can leave. You guys can go to the building. You guys can go out after you take your written. That would mean you're here for general studies. However, if you think you can attempt to make it the hero course, you can go ahead and attempt it. However, you can also choose if you want to take the practical just for fun. We advise against this, however, but it's all up to you. Now then, little listeners, sit down, little listeners. We're passing out your tests now. Go give them your best shot." As that speech would finish, Darjeeling just sits there, pondering what she would do. She decides to take one of her mother's advice. That nothing is fair in the world. Nothing. No, I'll save that for later. She'll take one of her mother's words of wisdom. You never know what might happen until you try. Well, she's dead set on joining the general studies course. She's going to take the practical for fun, just to test her abilities. She knows how to summon her firefly, but for some reason she thinks that she can summon others. About 10 minutes would go by, and Darjeeling would hand her test into President Mike. She would then stand there for a little bit, asking President Mike some questions. Like, questions. You have some questions, little listener? President Mike would then say, in a more quiet tone so other students can't hear. Darjeeling would ask, "Yes, I was wondering, is there any way I can get help with my quirk?" President Mike is kind of confused by it. He's like, "What do you mean, little listener?" Thanks to the help of Nito and Monoma, he found out one thing about my quirk, but I feel like there's more to it. Do you know by chance what your quirk is, little listener? Yes, my quirk is Ghost Division. From what I heard from doctors and from my friend Monoma, I can summon tanks, I believe. Monoma thinks it's just one, but the doctors, when I was little, said I can summon multiple. But I don't know. I don't know how to summon them. I never had a chance to, because Britain has strict laws on quirk usage, even for training. And President Mike looks down at her and says, "So that's why young Darjeeling, that's why you're going to the general studies." Darjeeling's a little shocked by this, saying like, "How did you know my name? Because you only had to turn in a resume if you signed up for the hero course, not for the general studies." President Mike would respond, "Oh, that's simple, little listener. Like, oh, little listener, I know your parents. And I know your parents. They're number 1 and 2 pro heroes in the European League, correct?" Darjeeling would just simply nod. "And I assure you, we'll find a way to help you. You can still be in the general studies, as you say, but you'll get some extracurricular activities, if you're fine with that. Since we're establishing a student council here, and I think you'll be the best candidate. Since our student council is going to be different. Positions are handed out by test scores, by score, and by academic and physical abilities. The student council president, however, is chosen by the principal. to be his trusted right-hand student advisor / student ambassador. And from what we heard from your parents, you're definitely going to be the student council president, much to a lot of people's dismay. And the student council president has some extra stuff that goes along with them. An access to visit any class they would like and basically attend any course they like, but be tied to their course they signed up to. So you could theoretically get your degree in your history degree and still get a hero's license just in case. Darjeeling stands there for a second, debating, and just nods and walks away. A few minutes later go by. The 30 minutes would be up and everyone hands their test in. All the people who signed up for general studies and for people who knew they couldn't make it would then leave, confirming their place in general studies. The Darjeeling stands up, debates for a second, and then sits back down. Because she's going to do it for fun. Because she's in general studies, guaranteed. She just wants to test some things out. President Mike would then do his canon speech about it, but when Ida pops up to interrupt, saying, President Mike, this is highly inappropriate for a UA teaching staff. You failed to mention the last robot on the pamphlet. Darjeeling would then just simply get up and say, I heard of you, correct? You're the brother of Ingenium. Correct? Ida responds with, yes, I am. Well, can you please quiet down? I'm pretty sure our future teacher knows what he's doing. He just had, you know how President Mike is. He has a flair for the dramatics. It's just what his personality is. Now, can we just please sit down and listen to his conversation? Because I assure you, everyone, that this would be most enlightening. Ela then just nods to Darjeeling, sits down. As President Michael says, well done, little listener. And I commend you for ending that situation peacefully. But yes, as the blue-haired listener has stated, there is one more robot I have yet to mention. This would be the zero-pointer. It acts more as an obstacle than an actual target, as it being labeled zero-pointer. I won't go too much into this because our principal has stated that the zero-pointer this year is more of a surprise than anything. All you have to know that it's heavily armored and, if left unchecked, can cause devastation. That's why you have an override switch in the areas. That's why our principal has an override switch, just in case. Now, to be assigned the areas for the practical, we'll be handing out pieces of paper with numbers on them. These numbers represent which area you're going to be at. Darjeeling would pick her paper, her little number, and get the number 4. As President Mike would then tell everyone that it's then follow him to the practical area. As they all will get there and they separate into their gates. She will enter gate 4 and see two familiar figures. A blonde-headed boy with straightish hair, dressed up all classy, even in his sportswear. And that blue-headed boy that she successfully diffused calmly. She would then walk up to the two and say, "Hello, hey Monoma, I didn't know you'll be in this gate." Monoma would turn around saying, "Darjeeling, you're attempting the practical?" Darjeeling then chuckles a little bit, saying, "I'm not attempting it. President Mike did say that people who want to just take it for fun could. So I'm just taking it to test my abilities out." They all just simply laugh. The two of them, Monoma and Darjeeling, just chuckle a little bit. As Ida would then turn around saying, "Can you guys please stop this? You're terrible. You're distracting me with focusing on what's at hand." Darjeeling would then apologize, saying, "I'm so sorry. I truly didn't mean to do that. I was just conversing with a new friend I made. I'm so sorry about that, Mr. Ida. Ida Tenya. Right, you're the Genium kid." "Oh, you're the one that told me? Yes, my name is Darjeeling. Since we're talking about hero families, I come from the Gray family." Monoma already knew, so Ida just stands there, blinks a couple times, looks towards Darjeeling and says, "You serious?" "Yes, I'm Darjeeling Gray. I'm the eldest and only daughter of the two pro heroes known as Commander and Lawrence of Arabia, or T.E. Lawrence." Yes, a little references. Sorry. I am the only daughter and eldest of the pro hero T.E. Lawrence, number 1 pro hero T.E. Lawrence, and number 2 pro hero. Damn it! I'll leave that blank for now. You guys can give me a good comment for her mother's hero name. Ida would then just be happy to have another hero family in UA. The gym would say, "Hey, no, I'm not becoming a hero course. I am going for the general studies, against my parents' wishes. My parents want me to become a hero, but I feel like heroing is not for me. Don't get me wrong, I'll still probably become a hero in my own way. But I just feel like, I don't know, I don't want to become one now, if that's a good way to say it." Ida would then nod his understanding and say, "Well, I hope this starts a good friendship between us. And you too, Mr. Monoma, correct? That's what she called you?" "Yes, that is correct. My name is Nito Monoma." "Well, nice to meet you, Monoma. You too, Ida." "Please, and you too, Miss Gray. Please, call me Darjeeling. I am not from Japan, after all. So it just feels weird if you guys call me by my last name. So I'll be calling you Tenya, and I'll be calling you Nito, if you're fine with that, or Needy." "I'm not needy. That's a nickname, silly. But it's fine. I'll call you Nito. Neto, or however pronounce Monoma's name. Now then, everyone. The practical would start with President Mike saying, 3, 2, 1. Wait for, as President Mike would say, wait for it, as the gates would open, as he keeps saying, wait for it. Darjeeling senses what goes on, so she taps Monoma and Ida on the back, saying he's waiting to see if any of us would go early. Ida's like, "So he's trying to wait for us to catch us and disqualify us?" "No. He's seeing which one of us can take initiative and try to get the most points." Ida perks up at that, saying, "So it's a ruse to..." "Yes, it's a ruse. Go, engine boy. Go,." Show the world what you can do." as Ida would nod and race off. As same with Monoma, who touched Ida with their last handshake. Darjeeling chuckles a little bit and just starts walking, summoning her firefly, doing what Monoma told her. She would then get into it and feel like that there's ghost people helping her with this tank. Now we cut to the observation room with Nezu seeing the tank. With him saying to Powerloader, Powerloader, did you authorize a support corps student to use a tank? Powerloader's like, no, there's no tank in my support corps. As Powerloader would then see the tank in area 4. As President Mike would then laugh, saying, yep, that is Darjeeling, all right. What do you mean, that's Darjeeling? That's the Gray's kid? That's the Gray's daughter? Yes, that is her. From what I heard from her mother, it's a weird variation of her own quirk. Instead of getting the ornaments of the tanks, she summons the tanks. Well, she doesn't know how to use them herself. A boy named Monoma, Nito Monoma, helped her summon the Firefly. That Sherman Firefly. She's actually asked us for permission to help her, use her quirk. Well, she won't use it actually as offense. She wants to use her quirk as a way to demonstrate certain tanks of the era. As Nezu would say, I see. Also, Nezu, I have a feeling you will love her. Why is that? One, she's the candidate that is the only candidate that has figured out about the student council. Especially your student council president question in the back of the test that was hidden by a light. Hidden by invisible ink, only seen through if you lift your test up. Everyone looked towards Nezu saying, Nezu! What? I wanted to test out because the student council president has to be the best academic mind, close second to mine. But why is another thing that I would like her? She's an avid tea drinker. She even brews her own and even grows her own tea. Nezu says, so an avid tea drinker just like me. President Mike would then joke around saying, well, she is British. As the observation remained chuckling. Now, let's say 15 minutes go by. Darjeeling's gotten quite a decent amount of points. But the Fireflies ran out of ammo, so it despawned, causing her to fall on her ass. She gets up saying, God, that was not pretty. As suddenly a building would come down next to her. Instinctively, she shields herself, but something appeared. Something covers her. As she opens her eyes, she sees that she's in another tank. As she instructs the tank to move forward, instinctively, she gets out the rubble. Rubble. As then, when she sees light from the command report, she gets out. Seeing that it's a Churchill mark, commenting that it's a Churchill Mark 7. So, is this part of my quirk as well? It has to be if I spawned in it. If it spawned all around me. Now we cut to Nezu saying, so it is her quirk. Powerlord is saying, so her quirk literally allows her to summon tanks. Well, good thing she didn't come in here, otherwise it would be literally impossible to make a support item for her. Azal's saying, and she would be a hassle because I don't know how to teach someone how to control a tank. And that a quirk with a tank would probably be even more reliant on their quirks than a normal person would. Well, the question is, though, will the tank despawn if I look at it? Now, that's something I want to test out. His dog is a nasty smirk. Because Nezu didn't tell President Mike, but the steel pointer will only appear in 2 of the zones. 2 of the areas, not all of them. So the test would go by rather smoothly for the rest of the time, with Darjeeling using her Churchill to literally run over robots. As she would comment after taking a frontal explosion blast by a missile by one of the 3-pointer lasers, where Darjeeling commenting, okay, my quirk is heavily exaggerating the Churchill armor. It's like, I get it, the Churchill has very good armor, but this is exaggerating it. But hey, I'll take any advantage I can get. She then proceeds to go on and go through the entrance exam, like she would normally do as a normal person. She gets out and waits by the entrance for Monoma and Ida, with her tank just despawning as the teachers go out to try to get it. Monoma get out and wave towards Darjeeling as Darjeeling would wave back. With Monoma saying, I see what you did. You managed to summon another tank. How'd you do it? Monoma asked. I just kind of put my arms around my head, thankfully, when I was about to get crushed by a building. Ida arrives shortly later, hearing that, and softly chuckles, saying, in a sad way, saying, that's kind of my fault. I ran into a building. Darjeeling just smiles towards Ida, saying, "Oh, it's okay. As long as I wasn't hurt, so no one was at fault. Just be careful next time. I hate seeing my friends get hurt." Now, let me tell you an English proverb that you probably haven't heard. An English joke that you probably haven't heard. They all perk up. An American president once said that they have everything in their country. A foreign reporter then asked, "Does that include the hotline to hell?" The two simultaneously facepalm and just give a slight chuckle. With Ida commenting, "Well, I mean, they do have the highest villain rate, so I guess you can say they are the country of hell." With Monoma saying, "Of course they are. It's the Americans. All they're good at is eating burgers." Hell, they needed to recruit another hero from two different heroes from other countries to help them. They recruited All Might and T.E. Lawrence. As Darjeeling would just chuckle a little bit. Now, shall we head home? I will be taking my own way, so don't worry about me, guys. Don't worry about me, you two. I'll see you around the school, because I know you guys definitely have gotten through the hero course. Well, I just took it for fun. She then kind of gives a nice little side hug to her 2 new friends and walks off, waving them off. With Monoma saying, "God damn it." Ida responding with, "You okay there, Monoma?" I don't know how to feel about her. Like, I want to love her, but at the same time, I have a feeling that it'll just cause problems down the road. Ida then responds with saying, "So you had the same way. So we were rivals for a time, but we're not?" "Yes, I just don't know how to feel, really." That's the same. She treats us just like friends, but at the same time, she unintentionally treats us like men. And that's just the way she is. Monoma chuckles a bit, saying, "Well, she is a Grey, and her mother was known for that kind of stuff. For treating her friends like men or women instead of just friends." "Well, I'll see you around, Ida. I'll see you around, Ida. I'll see you around too, Monoma." As the two would then separate ways, and that's where we're going to end it off right now, guys. Like I said, I have a test tomorrow, so I have to end it a little early. I hope you guys like this, because I did spend an entire 2 weeks writing this. I haven't even got to the good parts yet. This is just more of an explanatory video. for it and a little bit of it. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to see more, tell me down below. This has been Fox, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodaloo.